The entire hamlet was in a state of uproar as the sun began to rise. Over the course of the night, wild boars had wreaked havoc on our cornfields, leaving behind a destroyed landscape. In light of the fact that crops were in danger, the village elder did not spend any time. All of the most skilled hunters in the area were summoned by him. In light of this, we armed ourselves with firearms, hunting dogs, and a fierce determination to pursue the boars up the rough mountain slopes. We did this in broad daylight. An unexpected encounter took place immediately on the trail, which marked the beginning of the quest. As they climbed the ridge, a large herd of wild boars surged forward. Immediate action was taken, and with a single well-placed shot, the first target was eliminated. Another boar was on the run shortly after that, and our hounds were pursuing it with all their might. We took the shot in a rapid and decisive manner as the boars were standing there panting and there was nowhere for them to go. After only 5 minutes, Alvin was able to locate a giant male boar that was concealed further up in the air. Keeping our breath, we listened for even the most inaudible sound, while our eyes searched for any signs of movement. A blaze! It was a light and perfect shot, and it was another trophy that was stolen. It was filled with the sound of our hunting dogs, which was a familiar sound. The weapons were raised as Farley sat on a spoon of hay. A blaze! The trophy was taken away by Farley the moment a boar raised its head for the first time. Instantaneously, it fell apart, and there was no further opportunity to retrieve it. A blaze! Over time, the unrelenting conflict continued. There was tension in every passing second. We moved forward from every direction, tightening our formation so that there was no way out of the situation. Every single one of our actions was deliberate, and we waited for the perfect moment to strike. An additional target appeared on the other side of a nearby path. No hesitation on my part. As I did so, I raised my weapon and moved forward. At the moment that a single shot sounded out from the old road cover, it fell to the ground just a few meters distant. We followed a tiny route in the hopes of finding the path that the boar had taken. In an instant, there was a slight rustle that was barely audible but was sufficient to put us on high alert. While he was crouching low, my teammate was pointing ahead. A herd of boars crossed the trail in front of us, just as we had anticipated they would. We waited for the ideal moment, and then we started firing our weapons. The heavy smoke, however, caused them to disappear in a quick and sliding manner as they made their way into the woods. Wow! After a little pause, the dogs resumed their loud and anxious barking. Simultaneously, each and every person turned their heads. Across the clearing there is a wild boar that is running quickly. By raising our weapons, we were able to close off its passage. After determining that the time was correct, I pulled the trigger. It was as if the boar had fallen to the ground. Hey, how was the hunt that you went on today? Leave a comment below and tell us what you think about your thoughts. We want to make sure that you don't miss out on our next wild search, so if you like moments of excitement like these, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We appreciate you watching, and we hope to see you on future adventures. Residents of Tellico Plains, Tennessee, had a difficult time falling asleep last night due to the fact that wild boars continued to make their way into the town, generating mayhem. Given the increasing gravity of the situation, we did not waste any time in putting together a reaction team and dispatching them during the night. Upon following a number of clues, it became clear that everything headed in the same direction. The Cherokee National Forest, which is located nearby, was probably the source of these wild animals' migration. We started our journey early in the morning, like we always do, driving in the direction of the woodland where the wild boars were hiding. Every single member of the squad was completely armed with firearms, needed gear, and most significantly, our devoted hunting dogs, which are the most crucial allies in any boar hunt. At precisely the moment when we had completed our formation, a herd of wild boars unexpectedly emerged from the distance in a frantic sprint. Without any hesitation, we fixed our sights on our targets and immediately began firing. The sound of gunfire reverberated across the forest, and a bullet struck a boar right in the middle of its chest. Before it finally came to rest on the ground, it had more than once tipped over. The first trophy that we have won today. Our eyes were always on the lookout for any movement in the thick woodland, and we remained hidden approximately 100 meters away. I had already loaded and cocked my firearm, which I had used before. Waiting until the appropriate time was the only thing that remained to do. Following a period of 10 minutes, the sound of hooves pounding suddenly became more audible. My aim was altered, and I pulled the trigger with complete determination. The sound of the bullet broke the silence, and the boar that I had been aiming for fell to the ground immediately. Through the execution of a single clean shot with pinpoint accuracy, the agonizing wait was finally brought to an end, and an unparalleled sense of satisfaction was granted. However, that was not even close to being the conclusion. Quickly reloading our weapons, we prepared ourselves for the next heated encounter. As we made our way over the mild slopes that were covered with dead leaves, we were greeted by a sight that took us by surprise. There was a sudden appearance of herds of wild boars, charging like a hurricane and causing the entire woodland to be stirred up. We sped up our pace, got closer to them, and quickly reduced the distance between us and them. We were determined not to lose track of them. In a matter of moments, another wave of gunfire shattered the tense silence of the forest, echoing sharply off the trees and rocks like the cracks of thunder before a storm. Amidst the chaos, one of the larger wild boars, a fully grown, muscular beast, was struck cleanly by a volley of bullets and crumpled to the ground, felled instantly by the sheer force of our coordinated assault. The surrounding underbrush shuddered with the tremors of its collapse, and for a brief second, all motion ceased. Seizing the opportunity, I quickly scanned my surroundings and identified a spot with a clear line of sight, a slight rise behind a cluster of boulders that offered both cover and range. I rushed forward and positioned myself just as another boar, one that had managed to evade its initial pursuers, broke through the tree line and darted into my field of view. I steadied my weapon and took rapid but measured action. As it charged past, I fired a single calculated shot. The bullet hit its mark with pinpoint accuracy, dropping the beast instantly. There was no hesitation, no second chance. It had no opportunity to escape. The shot was clean, swift, and final. Because of our relentless efforts and close pursuit, the remaining wild boars found themselves with fewer places to hide. Driven out from the dense thickets and rocky gullies where they once took cover, they were now forced to reveal themselves in the open terrain. Their attempts to scatter and regroup were hampered by the tightening circle we had drawn around them. The once unpredictable and chaotic stampede had begun to break down, with some individuals straying too far from the herd in desperate bids to escape. It was during one of these moments that we noticed a particular boar, larger than most and clearly exhausted, begin to show signs of weakness. Its breathing grew ragged, its pace faltered, and it drifted from the group. The instinct that once drove it forward now betrayed it, isolating it from its kin. That was the signal we'd been waiting for. The time had come for precision, not panic. The hunt had entered its final phase. As the air filled with the sharp report of rifles, a deadly rhythm took hold. Each well-placed shot echoed with consequence, and with every squeeze of the trigger, another boar was claimed. We struck down all varieties, the quick-footed juveniles that zigzagged through the brambles, the mid-sized adults who fought back with sheer force, and even the colossal patriarchs, their bodies scarred by years of survival and battle in the wild. None were beyond reach. In the raw, untamed wilderness, victories are never handed out. They must be earned. Every downed animal was a hard-won prize, a testament to our patience, precision, and the seamless coordination among our team. No single element could have achieved success alone. It was the unity of sharp eyes, steady hands, and unwavering nerves that led us through. Amidst the adrenaline and exhaustion, there was a shared understanding. This was more than a culling. It was a confrontation between man and nature, a high-stakes pursuit in which every moment mattered and every decision could tip the balance between triumph and failure. During the process of moving to a new ambush location, the entire squad at once became aware of something that seemed quite strange. We did not waste any time and immediately took up positions, our eyes searching every nook and cranny of the environment. That was the case. It was then the recognizable dark silhouette appeared. In order to concentrate, I held my breath and squeezed the trigger with intent. Almost immediately the shot was fired, bringing an end to yet another exciting pursuit.